This is ESPN on ABC, brought to you in part by Samsung QLED TV, the official TV of ESPN College Football. You're watching Auto Trader Tailgate Week.
Welcome to college football, presented by TrackPhone, as part of Auto Trader Tailgate Week. You're watching the Big 12 on ABC. And what a day it is to tailgate, taking a football game here in Manhattan. Homecoming at Kansas State, and about as tough an opponent as they could ask for. Number 5 comes calling. Oklahoma taking on the Cats here in Manhattan. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. Last week, we saw Clemson take down Louisville, and you talked about the fact that you thought Clemson was being disrespected somewhat. They're still in the top 4 according to the AP poll. This Oklahoma team is in the top 5. How do they stack up?
Well, with today, we're going to see 5 of the top 7 teams in the ranking with Oklahoma. And to me, they're right up there on tape and hopefully in person with Ohio State as the second best team in America. When we think Oklahoma, we think, man, Lincoln Riley and this offense. But they're up there with Ohio State because of this defense and the job Alex Grinch has done. And not only are they up there with Ohio State, because of the defense, they're legit national title contenders.
And they've got a national title winning quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Allison, he transfers from Alabama. What impact has he made?
Yeah, Bob, and it's that experience and success that helped Hurts earn the attention and respect of his new teammates right away. He said, I got to Oklahoma and I just tried to be myself, share my experience, let them know that to win a championship, it takes the right mentality and playing to your own standard, not worrying about anybody else. CeeDee Lamb told me he gives us confidence and an edge because we know he knows what it takes to win a championship. He said it's about the amount of work. We just follow his work and plan as our quarterback. Kenneth Murray said everyone respects him because of it. We want to get to the top of the mountain too.
Well, can K-State slow down the Sooners? We're about to find out. Perfect day for football here in Manhattan, and we are set to go. K-State won the toss, and they elected to defer their option to the third quarter. So Jalen Hurts standing by as Oklahoma will start with the football, and we are underway. TJ Pledger from the 10-yard line has a crease. And pretty good field position for the Sooners out to their own 34-yard line. And what a weapon Jalen Hurts has, Dan, at CeeDee Lamb.
And they use him in so many different ways. I mean, he's a dynamic receiver that is big. He's athletic. He's very physical. He can break tackles, and so they can get him the ball in the pass game. But we'll see him today. They're going to utilize him in their run game as well. But one of the best receivers in all of America.
Assuming he becomes a pro after this season, Todd McShay sees him going in the top 10. He's got that kind of talent. And CeeDee Lamb is to the top of your screen. 1st and 10 for the Sooners at their own 33. Hurts to throw on 1st down. Swings one down the sideline. Underthrown, making the adjustment and hauling it in is Lee Morris. Or check that, Charleston Rambo. Terrific catch and trust shown by Jalen Hurts.
Well, we talk about CeeDee Lamb, and they take CeeDee Lamb on a double move, clear out some guys, and they get Rambo, one of their young, talented receivers, on a linebacker. Beautiful adjustment to the ball. Outstanding start for Oklahoma's dynamic offense.
On a keeper, it's Hurts. Breaks a tackle. Boy, for a quarterback, he is tough to bring down. Picks up 6 yards. Let's take a look at Jalen Hurts with today's Nissan Heisman Watch and how he stacks up with Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray as he looks to make this a Sooners hat trick for the Heisman Trophy.
It's going to be hard, right? It's going to be hard to keep his name from not being called when New York comes. He's done it through the air. He's done it with his legs, and it's been a seamless transition.
He's going to keep it again. Lost the football! And it looks like Oklahoma's got it back.
Man, really nice hit by defensive end Wyatt Hubert right there. Watching the right side of the screen, 56 put his helmet right on the football. Fortunate bounce for Oklahoma's offense.
Hurts on a rollout on third down. Here comes the blind side pressure from Wyatt Hubert. The ball's out again. And it's recovered by Kennedy Brooks.
You're going to see, watch CeeDee Lamb. We can't see it on that replay, but Hubert with a huge hit on Jalen Hurts' back, but he had CeeDee Lamb open in the flat, wide open, just did not see him, and that's what forced Hubert to have access to Jalen Hurts.
Now the officials err on the side of caution. They call this a fumble, but it certainly looked as if Jalen Hurts, while being hit by Wyatt Hubert, had his arm coming forward and spiked the ball into the ground. So they're going to go to the replay booth and see if this should be an incomplete pass. And it's a big difference in terms of 4th down and distance. Rather than 4th and 8, it would go back to 4th and 3. Although Lincoln Riley never took his offense off the field, even if it was going to be 4th and 8.
How about the start by Wyatt Hubert, though? I mean, back-to-back hits. You're going to see him come off the backside. One thing you always get told as a quarterback is when you're doing these sprint outs or rollouts, you never pull up. And the pull-up there, and it looks like Jalen Hurts was strong enough on impact of that hit to keep the ball in his right hand just long enough to have the ball going forward. Looks like that ball is going forward still in his hand and not moving to be an incomplete pass.
As long as he has firm control of the football, the moment that his hand and arms start to move forward, it would be an incomplete pass. Here's the announcement.
After further review, the quarterback threw an incomplete forward pass. It'll be 4th down from the 27-yard line. Will the clock operator please reset to 13:25, and the clock will start on the snap.
An interesting move here by Oklahoma. In spite of the fact that it's 4th and 3, they are going to send out the field goal group. And Gabe Burkich will try from 44 to get the Sooners on the board. Burkich perfect so far on the season. His season-long 34 yards. So this would be comfortably his season long, but he has no issues. Drills it right down the middle. And Oklahoma has the early lead.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
How much margin for error does Oklahoma have in the Big 12 if they are to have an opportunity to play in that championship drive and get to the college football playoff? Not much, you would think. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Orlovsky and Allison Williams here in Manhattan. Lincoln Riley's team kicks a field goal to begin, but every time that Kansas State gets a stop, even to hold to a field goal against this offense, it's got to be a win.
Yeah, when you're playing someone that scores 50 a game, anytime you can hold them to 3, you walk off the field feeling great.
Phillip Brooks will take a knee. We know about the offense for OU, but how about the defensive improvement they have made this season? Last year, couldn't crack the top 100 in scoring, couldn't crack the top 114 or better in opponents' yards. Tackles for loss, not impactful as well, but Dan, enter Alex Grinch and the improvement.
Totally revamped this defense, revamped their mindset, the stuff that they did up front in their coverage, and I'd say the biggest thing is he's allowed to play this defense and its players to play completely free.
Skylar Thompson with the zone read to Gilbert, and he has stood up right at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. Pat Fields came up to help and make the stop for OU. Chris Kleiman took over for a legend when he was at North Dakota State. Craig Bohl taking over for a legend in Bill Snyder at Kansas State. Great road win against Mississippi State to start off the year, and his defense is going to have to be that good, if not better, today against OU to have a chance. Quarterback run. That's a big part of their game plan today, I would think, with Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson has become the main weapon for this football team in the pass game, obviously, but really in the run game. They've become a lot more so reliant on his legs, and really we've seen it in 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations. Oklahoma will be prepared for that. Alex Grinch will understand that's what this offense is doing well right now. I would expect to see on 3rd downs 5 guys across the line of scrimmage, and then pay attention to the 2 end guys for Oklahoma being potential spies, droppers, keeping eyes on Skylar Thompson.
A 3rd down and 8 to start, and it's only a 3-man rush. Thompson out of the pocket, hit from behind, and the 3-man rush gets home. Ronnie Perkins is able to bring him down, and it is a 3 and out for a Kansas State offense that has done this far too often, go 3 and out.
Well, it starts on 1st down, and it's about Oklahoma's defense. Oklahoma on 1st down gets a tackle for loss, something they pride themselves on, and then they set you up in the 2nd and long, and obviously 3rd and long they get their pass rushers going, plates and coverage off the field.
Devin Anctil can be a field position changing weapon. He drives CeeDee Lamb back to the 15-yard line. Little stumble for Lamb. And he's bottled up at the 25 and brought down by Nick Allen. We'll step aside.
College football on ABC is presented by TrackPhone. The new TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. And in part by Coca-Cola. Share a Coke this season with friends, family, and maybe even a rival.
Welcome back to Manhattan. Perfect day for football and a pretty good start for Kansas State. 3 and out on offense, but getting a stop defensively against this Oklahoma offense has to be encouraging for Chris Kleiman and the defensive coordinator Scotty Hazelton. They're back on the field again with OU starting at their own 25. Hurts to throw. Easy flip to Remba. No gain. They have lost a half yard. That's a good job to rally to the football by Jerron McPherson.
It's a nice job by McPherson and Sullivan. That's something Oklahoma does really well. They throw the shallow if the linebacker drops. If not, it becomes quarterback draw. Both those guys rally to the football well.
High snap. Backwards pass. CeeDee Lamb right back to Hurts. It's a trick play, and it works to perfection. In the open field, it's Nick Basquin down the sideline and tripped up inside the 10. The creativity from Lincoln Riley, 68 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
What a play. Fake the handoff, throw it to CeeDee Lamb back. He flips it back to Jalen Hurts. And Basquin, who had fell down on the play, faking a block on purpose, is completely uncovered. And again, the creativity of Lincoln Riley on display early.
A loss back to the 10-yard line as Kennedy Brooks has nowhere to go. Great penetration again, led by Wyatt Hubert. Trade Deshaun in there as well. Creativity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fake fall down. Leads to him being completely wide open.
Sidearm pass intended for Lamb, and now it's 3rd down and goal at the 10.
Nice job of those 2nd-level defenders right there, dropping out underneath. Kind of a hard sell, play-action pass. And this is, we talked about early on, this is a huge moment for Kansas State's defense after that big play to potentially force another field goal opportunity for Oklahoma's offense.
You're looking at the #1 big play offense in all of college football. But a chance for a goal-to-go stop for the Kansas State defense. No one in the middle of the field. Now they shift. Here comes a blitz. Hurts out of the pocket. He's going to try and run for it. Pushing the pile. Play not dead yet. He's at the goal line. Is he in? Oklahoma thinks it's a touchdown. Touchdown! Wow. That's a 220-pound running back that may not have the speed of Kyler Murray, but once he gets into the mosh pit, Dan, he is hard to bring down.
He gets hit at the 4-yard line right there, viced by 2 or 3 guys on Kansas State. Watch the leg drive, and obviously some of those big old linemen come and be a part of that big rugby scrum push. Watch impact right there at the 3 or 4-yard line, and then the leg drive. Looked like he crossed that goal line. Incredible effort.
So Burkich out for the point after. And on the 10-yard touchdown run by Jalen Hurts, his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. It's 10-0 OU.
Here it is, Tua Tagovailoa, a true freshman from Hawaii, gets the second half start.
Your first reaction when you were told Tua is going to start the second half?
We got to win the game, one way or another. And I'm always going to be a team guy. Coach, he made the decision that he made. I mean, we're national champions. I'll be able to say that for the rest of my life. That day made me who I am. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And Jalen's ties to the Tide continue to show since he came to Oklahoma. We heard him refer to the media and the rat poison a la Nick Saban. Saw him have a victory cigar last week after Alabama beat Tennessee. And his head coach, Lincoln Riley, says, you know what? I think it's pretty cool, actually. He is totally good with it. He said, just like Texas Tech will always be a part of me, Alabama will always be a part of Jalen. He's all OU right now. He's enjoying this place, but we can't change the past. It will always be part of him. He gets it. He said, I root for Texas Tech when we aren't playing them, and he's going to be the same way Jalen is with Alabama.
I admire the young man. I think he's the standard bearer for college athletics right now. We don't talk about or appreciate enough him off the field rather than on the field, and he's going to be a CEO of some company someday because he's special.
James Gilbert with a big run. And this is just what Kansas State needed as they were starting at their own 12-yard line, and that gets the Wildcats after a 26-yard gain by Gilbert out of harm's way.
Well, they guessed right on the movement by Oklahoma's defensive line. Catch him in a slant. It's the right play call versus what Alex Grinch dialed up for Oklahoma. Huge run, and that, I mean, first down is going to be so important for Kansas State to have some success today.
Skylar Thompson off play action. Lofts one to the sideline, but that's too high for Chabastin Taylor. Well, later on tonight, it is college football primetime presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Notre Dame and Michigan at 7:30 on ESPN, on ABC and the ESPN app. Notre Dame hasn't won in Ann Arbor since 2005.
They're going to be challenged tonight. I mean, Michigan's defense is legit. They're going to come after Ian Book. The big thing is making sure he gets it out of his hands early on, not to take hits.
Malik Knowles, he's fighting through injuries, and he's trying to fight through Sooners, and he's got a first down. Knowles has a chance to make explosive plays if they can get him on the field, but ever since the win over Mississippi State, he's had a knee, he's had an ankle, and he's been on a pitch count.
Malik Knowles is a difference maker for this offense. I told you guys, I think he's the next really good NFL wide receiver coming out of Kansas State. Jordy Nelson, Tyler Lockett. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's long, great hands. If he has a big game, this is going to help Kansas State's offense immensely.
Flags down. Skylar Thompson was trying to get a play change communicated to his group.
That's tough, man.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Well, what really happens there is Thompson takes the tight end who was in the backfield and puts him on the line of scrimmage. Well, that means one of the receivers that was on the line of scrimmage then has to step off. And throughout all that communication, remember, words, offensive linemen hear stuff, force that jump by Holtorf.
Here's Jordan Brown. He was out last week as well, and he gets the 5 yards back. Transfer from North Carolina. What about the keys for Skylar Thompson today?
Well, the big thing is don't look at the scoreboard, right? Oklahoma's got a great offense. You just go play against the defense every single play. You're going to hear me say this a lot, Oklahoma. What you see is not what you get both pre and post snap. And you're going to have to be willing to throw the football downfield to create some offense and hang with the high-scoring Sooners.
And now they've got Knowles back on the field for 2nd down and long at the top of the screen. Thompson. Long throw, looking for Knowles, and he's got it. First down. To the 29-yard line of Oklahoma, a gain of 22.
Well, what you see is not what you get, is really upon this 5 guys along the line of scrimmage, 2 safeties. At the snap, you're going to watch these safeties go from 2 high to 1 high, and then those guys that were up on the line of scrimmage drop back and play secondary level spy guys. But that is going to be the theme for this offense. As a quarterback, I see something pre-snap. I cannot expect to see the same thing post-snap. Thompson's got to have great eyes.
And great pass protection on that last play. Hand off to Harry Trotter. He's got a crease down to the 21-yard line. Pickup of about 7 yards, close to 8 for the Wizard. I have named him the Wizard, by the way. The fact that no one at this point has nicknamed Harry Trotter the Wizard, to me, is like malpractice.
Yeah, their loss, right? He's become a really good player for them, and I love right now what Kansas State is doing. Talked about having to be aggressive, take some shots. We saw some balls to Malik Knowles. Now we're getting the perimeter run game going. Cutting on the outside should open up some play action for them as the game goes on.
Josh Youngblood, the freshman, picks up a first down.
Right now, it feels like Kansas State offensively and their offensive coordinator, Courtney Messingham, he had mentioned, I can't go to the line of scrimmage blind. I've got to try to anticipate some stuff that Oklahoma's going to do and take advantage of it. And that's 3 plays in a row that he has anticipated. I expect Oklahoma to do this. I've got to call this.
Back on the ground to Brown. Into a pile up. It's a gain of 1 to the 15-yard line. Deshaun White, Kenneth Murray, those 2 linebackers coming in and helping out on the stop.
And you're changed as the play caller now. Usually you get down the red zone, you think, okay, we've got points. Field goals aren't going to win you this football game. And so you got to continue to have that aggressive mindset that you've showed throughout this drive.
Play action again for Thompson. Well protected. Now he's out of the pocket. He's going to throw this one away. 3rd down and 9 from the 15-yard line coming up.
Nice job by Oklahoma defensively, anticipating that Messingham might be a little bit aggressive. But I want to point out the throwaway by Skylar Thompson, because on tape the past couple weeks he's tried to do too much, and in those scramble moments have tried to make plays and hasn't thrown it away. So I'd like to see that there. You know, 3rd down in the red zone, Oklahoma loves to drop coverage, rush 3 guys, play 8. If you're Skylar Thompson, the biggest thing on this play, stay patient. Don't allow your clock to make you get out of the pocket if it's not needed.
OU shows blitz. Malik Knowles, hand fighting, flag out. He's one-on-one out there with a freshman. Jaden Davis, the true freshman corner. Got a hold of Malik Knowles, and this should be a first down for Kansas State in the red zone.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. have a foul. Automatic first down.
Watch the grab by Davis here with that right hand. Pull the jersey of Malik Knowles. Easy call. Nice conversion for Kansas State, but it was really because Knowles is selling some speed vertical, and that forced that grab by Davis. I'd love to see a little bit of a quarterback run game here. Get behind some tight ends, quarterback run game. Use that numbers advantage to yourself.
Well, they've got two tight ends out there, both to opposite sides of the field. They're going to run a little option, and walking into the end zone is Skylar Thompson, unaccounted for an easy Kansas State touchdown. Your over-under today was 3 of double-digit play touchdown drives Kansas State had to have. Well, they just got their first.
How many plays?
10.
Big one. I love the finish of the drive. Put it in your quarterback hands. Nice seal on the edge. Easy option for him. Kansas State on the board.
A touchdown drive for Kansas State that takes more than 5 minutes off the clock.
Beautiful finish for their touchdown drive, the red zone. Let's watch the tackle and Blaze Gammon, the tight end, secure the edge on this option play, and then watch the bind it puts Radley Hiles, the safety, in there. In any sport, what do you want to get? Numbers advantage. My 2 on your 1. Beautiful job sealing the edge and then putting that bind of the defender. You can't be right.
Returnable from the 7 for Trey Brown. He gets stood up shy of the 29-yard line. Well, coming up tomorrow on Countdown, Randy Moss will sit down with Tom Brady and discuss the 42-year-old's future. Plus, Randy will rank the best catches from this week's college football action and how Bruce Lee turned Christian McCaffrey into an MVP contender. Kick off your Week 8 with Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern, tomorrow on ESPN. How about Adam Schefter saying the other day, I think he said it on Get Up with Green, that he thinks the least likely scenario next year for Tom Brady is he's the quarterback of the Patriots. That's the least likely scenario?
And that's, I mean, this is the greatest quarterback of all time that you're saying that about. That like carries weight. It'll be a topic of conversation every day. I don't want to see it, but we'll find out.
Selfishly, as Kennedy Brooks gets bottled up near the line of scrimmage, may have picked up about a half yard. I just can't imagine seeing Tom Brady wearing a uniform other than a Patriot uniform playing quarterback in the NFL.
That's why if he's not playing in New England, he ain't playing anywhere. I don't think.
Play action for Hurts. Steps up, looking for a bomb down the sideline. Incomplete. A.J. Parker there in coverage on CeeDee Lamb.
Oklahoma trying to take a shot to CeeDee Lamb. He's adjusting on the ball, and Parker there. There's definitely some contact by his shoulder turning into CeeDee Lamb's chest.
If you're Parker, don't you have the right to turn around, adjust to that football, and go for it as well?
Yeah, that's why I like the no call. Is there some contact? Yes. But they both have the right to go where the football is going and track it.
CeeDee Lamb now in the backfield next to Jalen Hurts, and now empties the backfield on 3rd down. And now a timeout called by Oklahoma from the sideline as Lincoln Riley could not get his guys set. Welcome back to college football, presented by Track Phone, all part of Auto Trader Tailgate Week. This is the Big 12 on ABC. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Allison Williams. It's an early lead for Oklahoma, but for a Kansas State defense now forcing some 3rd downs, on the verge of maybe getting off the field here on 3rd down and 9. You can sense their confidence building a bit.
Yeah, and the big thing for them right now is, okay, where is CeeDee Lamb? As Lincoln Riley has put him in the backfield, and then they motion him out right there. So where's CeeDee Lamb? And then double A-gap pressure.
Low snap. Jalen Hurts trying to adjust. Sidearms a throw, and there's CeeDee Lamb getting loose down the sideline. What a play by Jalen Hurts. Keeps his composure, keeps his eyes downfield, and Oklahoma picks up 30.
We were talking about Heisman stuff, right? This is incredible. The fact that he stopped the ball, right? Stopped the ball at his ankle, gathers it, has the awareness to keep his eyes downfield, threw pressure and find CeeDee Lamb, and then throw an accurate football to him. That was an incredible play, and it's the weekly routine for Jalen Hurts.
Hurts into the secondary. Running through tackles down to the 26-yard line. He's got a first down if the play stands, but there is a flag down back near midfield.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 99. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. It's first down. Number 56 may remain in the game.
And the reason they're making that announcement is because Creed Humphrey, the center, lost his helmet on the play. Well, normally, if you lose your helmet in college football, you have to come off the field for at least one play, but not if you lose your helmet because of a penalty by the other team. So Creed Humphrey can stay on the field and add it all up. It's a first down at the 13-yard line for Oklahoma. A 15-yard run and a 13-yard penalty.
The big thing is, are you going to put CeeDee Lamb one-on-one in the red zone by himself if they do throw it to him?
Instead, they hand it off to Trey Sermon. Physical run down to about the 7-yard line. He picks up 6.
But that's where a guy like Lamb helps your offense, because down in the red zone, no, I don't want to single him up. You have to play with 2 high safeties, meaning you can't have enough people down near the line of scrimmage in the box for your run game, and it helps your run game having a player like that and the attention that he garners.
Hurts up the middle, at the goal line, he's in again. Second rushing touchdown for Jalen Hurts, and Oklahoma extends the lead.
Quick strike. Watch Jalen Hurts. Watch where he starts, shifts laterally to his left, doesn't hand it off, keeps him himself, and there's a huge lane, and he finishes again at the goal line. We often talk about quarterback launch point when it comes to the run game. Oklahoma will change the launch point in their, or in the pass game, they'll change the launch point in their run game for the quarterback better than anyone.
What a weapon Jalen Hurts has become in this Oklahoma offense. They've got the 10-point lead. Rushing touchdowns this season to go along with 20 passing touchdowns. He's just racking up incredible numbers. He averages just shy of 400 yards of total offense per game by himself. 43% of FBS teams don't average that much total offense, as Jalen Hurts does all by himself.
So he averages more yards per game by himself than almost half of the teams in college football.
He's already got a $171 in the first quarter today. Pretty good.
Leads America in yards per attempt. How about this? He's the 5th leading rusher in America at any position.
Phillip Brooks. Pretty good return out to the 31-yard line for Kansas State. Week 8, Monday Night Football. It's the Dolphins looking for some Fitzmagic when they take on Juju Smith-Schuster. And the Steelers coming off a bye. 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Our coverage will begin with Monday Night Countdown at 6 from Heinz Field. Two tight ends, and Skylar Thompson back to work with James Gilbert to his right. It'll be Gilbert. Breaks a tackle. This is a young man that did not get a Power 5 offer out of high school. He goes to Ball State, and became an all-MAC running back at Ball State, but now gets a chance as a fifth-year graduate transfer to come play in the Big 12 for Kansas State. He's become their premier back of their offense.
And I'd say the best quality that he has is his vision, and he showed it right there. Like getting into the hole, felt a linebacker get out of place, the vision to bounce it outside and get 6 yards.
Sets up play action for Thompson. Throws on the run. That's Jax Deneen. Freshman fullback makes a diving catch. His second of the season, and it's good for a first down.
Really nice job anticipating pressure from Oklahoma, beating that pressure with a quick throw. A better throw, it's probably another 15, 20 yards.
That's my kind of body type for a guy to make a catch.
Almost looks like
looks like the play-by-play guy.
File cabinet, maybe.
Yeah,
just
is that,
a big block.
Is that where you were going?
Just trying to be kind.
Yeah, wondering why you were looking at me. Well, you said that. There's a crease into the secondary for Gilbert. Hurdles his way down to the 35-yard line before he's brought down.
Watch the movement by the defensive line. They stem in, you guess running out. And that's been the theme for the first quarter right now with Kansas State, is they're guessing right on what kind of movement Oklahoma's going to give them. Couple blocks on the perimeter, you cut a guy, and beautiful foot in the ground, get north and south by Gilbert.
Kansas State does not have to snap the ball before the end of the quarter. Looks like they're going to run a play, though. And they'll hand it off to Jordan Brown. He's got a chunk play into the red zone. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Oklahoma on top by 10, but 16 more yards for a ground attack that Kansas State has to lean on today if they want to stay in this game. Oklahoma on top of Kansas State, 17-7. We start the second quarter and we continue. Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams here in Manhattan. And it's a first down at the 20-yard line for Skylar Thompson and the Wildcats to start off quarter number 2. Play action. And Thompson's going to heave one in the back of the end zone for Knowles. Incomplete. I'm not sure if that was a throwaway attempt or he's just trying to give Knowles a chance to make a play.
Bob, the way Kansas State's been able to move the ball and finishing that last drive with a touchdown, you can see their confidence building. And Coach Klieman told us it would be huge in this game. He said what makes Oklahoma so impressive is they blow teams out in the first half. They just go for the jugular right away. He said we have to build their confidence early and give these kids life and belief that they can play. And guys, watching them on the sideline, they have it right now.
Well, it's second down at 10 at the 20-yard line as they're looking to score some points here with a handoff to Jordan Brown. Check that. Thompson holds on to it and pays the price. Marquez Overton was all over him in the backfield, and Kansas State goes backwards.
He's going to want this read back. If he hands it off, Brown's still running. Really good job by Oklahoma defensively, and Marquez Overton staying home, wrap tackling on Skylar Thompson's ankles.
Overton has to come out for a play. He lost his helmet. And with Jalen Hurts and the rest of that offense over on the sideline, that's always a win for Kansas State to keep them off the field, but now faced with 3rd and 17. Thompson, the pocket collapsing. Sidearms one to the sideline, flag down. In the secondary, Dalton Schoen, the intended receiver.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 6. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Huge penalty called on Trey Brown.
That's the second red zone penalty that we've seen on the Oklahoma secondary, right? We saw one early on Jaden Davis, a holding now. This one on Trey Brown in a 3rd and 17 that gives Kansas State an easy first down.
It doesn't go down in the box score like a turnover, but it almost has that feel. You're about to hold to a long field goal, and instead it's a first down in the red zone for Kansas State. Thompson, quarterback draw. Grabbed around the ankles at about the 15-yard line, falls down to the 13-yard line.
Seeing a lot of pre-snap stuff horizontally by this Kansas State offense, whether it's jet motions. That time Brown, they flushed the back all the way to the field, trying to get numbers out of the box to help their run game. You got to be very aware if you're Oklahoma right here for a play action pass out of this run look.
Screen set up to Schoen, but he's got nowhere to go. No blockers out in front, helpless as Trey Brown got there first. Also arriving quickly was Kenneth Murray. So now you're back to 3rd and long for Kansas State.
I like the job by Oklahoma, though. They were anticipating, okay, alert for a play action pass, and they dropped numbers there. Helped them protect against nobody getting downfield. 3rd and 10 here. I'd anticipate blitz if I was Kansas State, and I want to see if I can get Malik Knowles one-on-one versus one of these corners who struggled to cover so far today up top.
Thompson looks that way. Instead it's the underneath man. Joaquin Gill, a first down. 1st and goal at the 5 for Kansas State. 13 yards, they'll mark him out inside the 5.
Love so many things about it. Great stem by Joaquin Gill. Watch the ball come out of Skylar Thompson's hands right when Gill is turning his head. Anticipation, ball placement, running away from a man defender. Absolutely picture perfect by Kansas State.
Delarian Turner Yell, the strong safety. That's a pretty good matchup, I'd have to think, for Kansas State to get your slot receiver on a safety. Thompson finds Youngblood, and Youngblood finds the end zone. The freshman Joshua Youngblood is able to score from 4 yards out. Flag down at the 10-yard line.
Interesting what they call. I mean, what a beautiful drive by Kansas State. Now aided from the hold, right? Aided by the holding on Trey Brown. But they took advantage of that to get in the end zone.
There's a long conversation before a very important call.
Which makes me think it's on Kansas State, right? I mean, why would you having, if it's a touchdown, it's a touchdown.
Unless there's a debate as to whether or not the flag should be picked up.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness for kicking, defense number 11. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Number 11 has disqualified himself from the game.
Wow, that's Parnell Motley, a starting corner for Oklahoma, who has been kicked out of the game. And we'll see if we can pick it up here.
Look at Motley right on the sideline right there. Takes a kick at long. For a senior to do that in that moment.
Teams live in nickel, so they have defensive backs, but Lincoln Riley told us we're really only bringing 3 true corners to this game. We've got Motley, Trey Brown, and Jaden Davis, and now one of those 3 has been ejected. So now a true freshman, Jaden Davis, he's going to play the rest of the way. And it's 17-14 as Parnell Motley's afternoon is over. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the Live Moss Student Section of the Year. The Wildcats Student Section already on the national watch list. You can go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete and get the committee's attention by using the hashtag LiveMoss Student Section Contest. And they're whooping it up in that student section as they believe here in Manhattan, with their team giving Oklahoma all they can handle in the first half.
Let's talk a little bit about Wyatt Hubert. We saw him early on shed a tackler, shed a blocker, get his helmet on the football and force that fumble on Jalen Hurts with a big hit. Now I want to chase down the backside with relentless effort. Hurts pulls up, almost forces sack, fumble, but he's been impactful today. We talked with him yesterday, and he remained very confident. Listen, our defensive line is experienced. Oklahoma's is not. We have to use that to our advantage. So far, their defensive line is doing enough.
Sermon up the middle, met by Wayne Jones. 4-yard gain on first down.
Really, if you're Kansas State defensively, the goal is just continue to force Oklahoma to snap the football. No easy, there's such a quick stride offense. Don't allow them to go score in 2 minutes. Make them make snaps and go on them 10-play drive themselves.
Play action, seam route, and that is a completion all the way out to midfield. 22 yards. As Braden Willis got loose.
That's an incredible graphic. That they only run 64 plays a game, which is 119th in America, yet have the most yards. They've snapped the ball 7 times less than their opponent and have 2,000 more yards than them.
That's crazy. And they get CeeDee Lamb in space with a blocker out in front. He stays in bounds and picks up another first down. But when you are number 1 in America in plays of 20 yards or more, 30 yards or more, 40 yards or more, it doesn't take you many plays and a lot of time off the clock to get down the field and score.
Yeah, and you guys had all week, hey, if you're a defense, what do? You know, to try and stop them. I said you don't. You just have to try and slow them down a little bit. As you see these explosive, and the disparity of the game is this is what Oklahoma's great at, and it's not something that Kansas State offensively coming into this game has been good at. But you don't try and stop them. It's unrealistic. You have to try and slow them down and make them snap the ball.
4-man rush. Hurts out of the pocket. Takes a wallop right at the first down line to gain. Flag down in the secondary as well, as it looks like Hurts picks up 9 yards on the run.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 3. The previous play is under further review.
That's the Mike linebacker Elijah Sullivan in on the stop of Hurts. Now Hurts is a runner, so this has to be a crown of the helmet foul that they think may be warranted there on Elijah Sullivan.
Remember, too, if he lunges.
I don't think so.
Right, doesn't it look as he comes in here? I don't think there's a lunge.
And it looks like the shoulder.
Like, doesn't it look like he turns?
And this is why they go to replay automatically for this foul. And that's why the officials on the field err on the side of caution and throw the flag, knowing that replay has to confirm the call on the field for it to still be targeting, and they make sure they get it right.
And they've got their checklist, right? Like, it has to hit certain bullet points to be able to confirm that targeting call on the field. And if you don't, then that targeting call is overturned. It's a very black or white situation.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. Number again, second down.
And that's exactly the way that call and situation is supposed to be handled.
Yeah, remember, you got to go lunge with the crown of your helmet. And I think he dips with his shoulder to make that impact or contact. And so I love the call by the officials, and I love the process that college football has for it.
Close enough, though, for Elijah Sullivan. Maybe the teaching point is eyes up, see what you hit.
Sure.
Don't lower your head that way. That's what they're trying to get out of the game.
Said from the guy in the booth.
Not sure why that's necessary. Second down and 1. Quarterback draw for Jalen Hurts. First down and more. Inside the 20. And he gets all the way down to about the 15-yard line. Gain of 11. Sullivan made the stop.
It's just so hard. I mean, the quarterback takes the snap, he looks left, so you're naturally going to flow that way, and then they bring 4 pullers, 2 offensive linemen and 2 backs to the other side of the field. It's such a stress on this defense every single play with all the counter and the movement.
A pitch to Sermon. Nowhere to go. He's going to lose yardage. Well, if you're going to run the football, maybe that's the guy you want to run the football with. Jalen Hurts. Boy, has he been a weapon on the ground.
He's such a dynamic player, and you see the 9.5 yards per rush. And Kansas State allowing almost 7 yards per carry to a quarterback in a non-sack situation. The marriage, it doesn't sound great when you're going offense-defense.
7th play of the drive. 4-man rush again. Jalen Hurts out of the pocket again. Inside the 10-yard line before he's brought down, and now it's a big 3rd down. 3rd and about 3.5 for Oklahoma. Just inside the Kansas State 10. Now they'll mark it down right at the 10, so it's 3rd down and 4.
Just watch Jalen Hurts put his right foot in the ground right there, gets Daniel Green to overrun. We continue to harp on the fact of the special athlete, the strong athlete that he is.
Two touchdowns for Oklahoma, both Jalen Hurts runs.
And you got to continue to think quarterback run or zone read could be in play.
There he goes again, tripped up. And now what does Lincoln Riley do? It's 4th down and a couple from the 8-yard line. Wyatt Hubert made the stop. And does this surprise you at all that the field goal unit would come out on 4th down and 2?
It does. I mean, with the quarterback that I have and the power run game that I could employ with Oklahoma's offense, I am surprised that he would not go for this, especially, you know, if you're thinking, okay, my defense hopefully would settle down and we could at least pin their offense back and make them drive the field again on us.
And Burkich is good from 25 yards away. 6-point lead for Oklahoma midway through the second.
College football, presented by TrackPhone on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life, 150 years strong, protection and retirement solutions for your future. Mazda, feel alive. And ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
When Lincoln Riley replaced Bob Stoops 3 years ago at 33, he was the youngest FBS head coach at the time. And of course, that connection traces back to being a walk-on quarterback for Mike Leach, Texas Tech. But then while he was in East Carolina, Bob Stoops calling Mike Leach, who had Lincoln Riley on the staff there as well through 2009, asking for a recommendation for a hire. And Mike Leach said, I'd hire Lincoln Riley if I were you. Turned out to be a good move. Youngblood on the return. A pooched kick. And this is going to give Kansas State terrific field position near their own 40-yard line as we check our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Which teams does Oklahoma have 75 or more wins against in school history? 4 teams on the list.
Talking Lincoln Riley, I told you guys this week, I think Lincoln Riley is the best play designer and play caller at any level of football right now.
Wow. Thompson on a rollout. Zings one to the sideline, and Dalton Schoen makes the catch. Pretty good play design there for Kansas State.
And this is something that I think Skylar Thompson does really well, throw on the run. And I love the fact that they come out on 1st down with an aggressive play call. We've seen Skylar Thompson display some really good accuracy today. And it was on just like that throw for a quarterback running full speed away from the defender. I don't care if you're going to right or left and having to throw it against man, big time throw.
Screen out to Youngblood. He gets to the 45-yard line and picks up 3.
They're using that as their run game right there. They'll put the slot into the boundary. If you're going to continue to put numbers to defend our run game, then we'll kick that bubble out there, and we don't care if it's only 4 yards. That's just the same as us calling a run on first down and feeling good about it. Now 2nd and 6 is exactly where Kansas State wants to live, because they can use run, they can go play action, they can do drop back, whatever they want.
Straight ahead run. Gilbert spins close to a first down. Jaden Davis came up to make the stop, and that is good enough for a Kansas State first down.
The thing that Oklahoma does defensively that's helped them so much this year is the movement and the stunts by the defensive line. They don't do a bunch of them, they just do it a lot. Now it's great because you change the gap that you're in before the snap, but it's also dangerous because if you get caught in that stunt by the offense and they run where you're leaving, it equals big plays. That was a perfect example of it.
Here comes a blitz. Quick slant. And out on the edge, it's Blaze Gammon. The tight end is down to about the 31-yard line, and we are in his stadium. It is Bill Snyder Family Stadium. And it really is, I think, fortuitous for Chris Kleiman that he replaced Craig Bohl, a legend at North Dakota State, because he said it's not easy when you come and replace literally the legend of a program, but it prepared him to come here and try and fill Bill Snyder's shoes.
And the expectation. He said he was ready for the big expectation and the standard that had been set by Coach Snyder.
Jordan Brown hit right at the line and driven back by Overton. And by the way, we're not just in Bill Snyder Family Stadium, but we are right down the road from Bill Snyder Highway. What does it say about the football stadium and literally like the only paved road into town, both named after the same guy?
Had some success, revered in town, as he deservedly so. I was telling you guys, like when I think Kansas State, I think purple. I think Bill Snyder and I think purple.
Yep.
It's become a brand for them.
Big play here, 3rd down and 5. Jet sweep. And now what do? Phillip Brooks thrown back. That's a loss of a yard. Not in realistic field goal range. And now 4th down and 6.
The thing that Deshaun White did so well there was he didn't get cut on the perimeter. That's what's helped this run game for Kansas State. You know, if I'm Kansas State right here in choosing to go for it, I'm going to bleed this clock. Because if I get to the line of scrimmage and I don't like the look of the defense, I'm going to let the clock go down to 0 and call a timeout. I'm going to find Malik Knowles one-on-one. He hasn't been covered yet today.
And they know they have to take risks at some point offensively because of the points they figure Oklahoma's going to put up. 4-man rush. Wide open. It's Joaquin Gill. First down and more to the 20-yard line. That's a 4th down conversion and a big one. A gain of about 14 yards.
Let's watch the soft cushion. This is Malik Knowles. He's going to push up. That forces that safety to go up. And the soft cushion displayed by Joaquin Gill right there. Watch how soft the cushion is as Malik Knowles goes outside. Easy completion to Joaquin Gill. Soft coverage, but the attention to Malik Knowles opens him up.
Thompson again to the sideline. Turning upfield and staying in bounds is Samuel Wheeler, the tight end. And now if you're Kansas State as well, bleed this clock down and try and take as much time away from Oklahoma before halftime as you can.
You shouldn't break the huddle till about 20 seconds, 18 to 20 seconds on the play clock. And you're telling Skylar Thompson, you do not snap this ball with more than 3 seconds on the play clock. And continue your aggression, but manage this clock is important.
Losing the football is Thompson. At that mesh point with Jordan Brown, they nearly turned it over, and now it's 3rd down.
Just watch the mesh point. Running back goes to take it, quarterback goes to pull it, gets left hit on that hip, and it's just that nose of that football. That's all it takes to lose control of that football. So now if you're Skylar Thompson, the big thing is you're in field goal range and you've taken a ton of time off the clock. Nothing crazy. But if you like a matchup, I'd look down the middle of the field. If you like a matchup, you take your shot.
Quick out. Short of the first down is Wheeler. And now you'd think that Oklahoma might call a timeout. It's 4th down and about a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Is an incomplete pass. Will the clock operator please reset the clock to 1 minute, 25 seconds?
And no need for Lincoln Riley to take a timeout.
Good location on the throw.
And a good call.
And just the stretch by Wheeler right there. He's not able to finish it through. Just slipped out.
So here comes the 5'5" kicker, Blake Lynch, from 35 yards. To try and make this a 3-point game once again. He was put on scholarship after the first game last year. And he connects. We'll step aside for just a moment. Terrific first half here in Manhattan. Aflac. Perfect day for football. And an interesting Aflac trivia question. The answer now, which teams does OU have 75 or more wins against in school history? Well, 4 on the list. All in their league. Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State. But in a tussle with K-State here. Short kick, and making a catch on the dead run, but losing his footing is TJ Pledger. And we'll step aside, come right back.
It ain't no pressure when you built for this. I'm built for this. I'm the smartest boxer in boxing. Nobody got better defense than me. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I'm a beautiful boxer. I want to show people I can fight. I'm the next Floyd, Sugar Ray Harlem.
Shakur Stevenson, Joette Gonzalez. That should be a good one for more reasons than one. Shakur Stevenson is fighting his girlfriend's brother.
Probably some bad blood there, right?
Apparently there's bad blood there. We'll find out. Oklahoma starting. Time on the clock and 2 timeouts at their own 24-yard line. OU has 3 touchdown drives already this season that are 75 yards or better, that have taken less than 1 minute and 21 off the clock, as Hurts gets racked up behind the line. So they're more than capable, but not if Reggie Walker has anything to say about it.
About that job by A.J. Parker, too. Reggie Walker chased down from the backside in the corner. A.J. Parker, who was playing cover 2, you know, that flat defending corner, comes up willing enough to be aggressive on the tackle. Big play.
And time coming off the clock as well, down to 53 seconds. Jalen Hurts, backwards pass. It is another trick play. Basquin pulls it down. Now he's going to fire one. It's tipped, and on the count, it's intercepted. A.J. Parker. A takeaway off the trick play for Kansas State.
Let's watch A.J. Parker down at the bottom of the screen as this play develops. He's playing a cover 2 corner. Down in that flat. Watch the discipline. Sees the backward pass. He drifts downfield, and then he just plays with instinct. Floats. Tipped balls equal picks. But it was because not only A.J. Parker, but everybody on that defense plays with great discipline. They don't fall for the trick. They've already seen it once. Tipped ball. Right place, right time. A.J. Parker with a huge play in this half.
Kansas State has all 3 of their timeouts. Thompson to the sideline, broken up. Well done by Trey Brown, right in front of Dalton Schoen. Coming up at the half, by the way, we'll check in. It's the Capital One halftime report. What's going on between the Buckeyes and Badgers in a rainstorm? The ACC Coastal very much up for grabs. It always seems to be a good day for quarterbacks in college football, and this is another one. We'll talk about all of that coming up on the Capital One halftime report.
Big thing for Kansas State right now is your play calling. Nothing risky with the football. You want to score a touchdown, but you just got given points. So you might be able to try and pop a draw here.
They just get the snap off. Aaron pass. Joaquin Gill, obviously with Skylar Thompson thinking he was running a slant, kind of pulled up and broke his route off at the 6-yard line.
Looked like Skylar Thompson saw soft coverage or vacated area, and Joaquin Gill just didn't see it fast enough. Now 3rd down. If I'm Kansas State and I just got given a gift in many ways, I know you want to go be aggressive here, but I'm thinking maybe a screen, a draw, something that keeps the football out of harm's way, because I don't want to just give it back.
Oklahoma shows blitz. Here they come. Quarterback draw. Skylar Thompson, one-on-one, breaks a tackle. Touchdown. A.J. Parker pick turns into 6. Skylar Thompson and Jalen Hurts now both have a couple of touchdowns on the ground. But Kansas State with the point after has the 4-point lead. We're back in 30 seconds. Let's go back to the touchdown as Kansas State takes the lead.
Let's watch the left guard, Revis, and then the tailback, Brown. As you're going to get this slant by Oklahoma's defense, the guard picks it off, and then Brown picks up Deshaun White, the blitzing linebacker, right there. And a great job by Kansas State's offensive line, anticipating some pressure. An awesome job by the guard, and then Brown, a tailback, being used as a blocker to open up the huge hole for Skylar Thompson.
This is the 27th time that Kansas State has hosted a top 5 team. They've only won twice, and not since 2006. Nice job to stay on his feet by Trey Brown. Oklahoma still has 2 timeouts, but only 16 seconds on the clock. And NFL Primetime with Boomer and TJ, Sunday at 7:30 Eastern, only on ESPN+. All the highlights and breakdowns for the day's games. Updates from the Sunday night and Monday night games. It's Scott Van Pelt and Joe Tess. You can get ESPN+ by downloading the ESPN app. Oklahoma has not trailed at the end of any quarter so far this season. How aggressive will they get with 16 seconds and a couple of timeouts? Jalen Hurts to throw. He's going to go downtown. Climbing the ladder to make the catch is Rambo. And at the very least, they are now in field goal range. Might as well call one of those timeouts now with 9 seconds to go. And Lincoln Riley does exactly that.
We got Rambo running down the middle of field on a linebacker, Elijah Sullivan. Goolsby, a safety, played so far over the top. Watch this throw by Jalen Hurts, staring right down the middle of field. I got a wide receiver and a linebacker, throw it up, and then Rambo not only going up high to catch it, but high, and then watch it how quickly, when he catches his ball, tuck down to his body to make sure that Goolsby couldn't come over the top and knock it out.
9 seconds, 1 timeout.
Yep.
Throwing it into the end zone from here really does put the ball in harm's way. Are you just playing for a field goal here, or do you think you have enough time and low risk enough with Jalen Hurts to take a shot at the end zone?
I think you can take a shot at the end zone, absolutely. What you'd want to do is you design a play that there is a shot. Somebody's going into the end zone, and you tell Jalen Hurts, listen, if you like it, you cut it loose. And then there's another underneath route or two where if he doesn't like that shot, and it should be something he likes pre-snap, if he says no to that pre-snap, there's a different 2-man combination he can work to get another 8 or 10 yards. The big thing you tell him here, Bob, you do not run around with the football.
Right.
You don't try and scramble and run around, because then that 9 seconds goes real quickly.
This is a one-look and go type play. If it's not there, you have to have time on the clock to make sure you get your field goal chance. And they do have a timeout remaining as well. Play clock is winding down. Down to 4. Hurts still looking over to the sideline. Lincoln Riley might have to call timeout. Nope, they get the play off. Hurts, he's in trouble. He goes down. Is he in field goal range? Well, Lincoln Riley can call timeout, but taking a sack there can't happen. If you're Jalen Hurts, just lost 10 yards, as Wyatt Hubert gets him.
The one thing we talked about that Jalen Hurts could not do in this moment. Try and scramble around and make a play. If it's not there, if you didn't like it, waste it, kick your field goal.
Guys, I talked to Lincoln Riley before the game, and he told me that while he'd like to get to the 35 to be in field goal range, the longest for his kicker would be a 60-yarder. So right now you're looking at about a 50-yard attempt here.
Now, they said that Gabe Burkage, it wouldn't be distance that would be the issue. It would just be accuracy, but he could easily reach from anywhere in plus territory, and this is going to be a 50-yard attempt. His season long and career long earlier today, 44. And now a timeout called by Kansas State. I wonder if Chris Kleiman is going to spend the rest of his timeouts here and see how much he can make the kicker think about a 50-yarder, but how much is there to think about at halftime for an Oklahoma team that has not been in this kind of a position so far this year?
A lot. I mean, you've got to look at Kansas State's offense and go, well, they've obviously got our number, right? They've been running the ball in the perimeter, and the movement for our defensive line is not working. And then for our offense, I mean, you've done a good job offensively if you're Oklahoma. You just don't want to attempt field goals.
Looks like this time Kansas State will not call the timeout. Here's the 50-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, and it is good. So Burkage finishes the first half with another new career high, 50 yards away. What a first half. We've got a one-point game at the break. After the break, it's the Capital One halftime report.
Welcome back to Auto Trader Tailgate Week.
Welcome back to college football presented by TrackPhone, part of Auto Trader Tailgate Week. This is the Big 12 on ABC, and a big surprise so far. Better than a 3-touchdown underdog. Kansas State at home against number 5 Oklahoma, but it's a 1-point lead for the Wildcats who start the third quarter with the football. And it will be Phillip Brooks to bring back the second half kickoff. And a good return. Close to the 35-yard line before he is finally brought down. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams. An eye-opening first half. And not even so much on the scoreboard for Oklahoma's offense. This is pretty much their average. They average about 50 a game. Their defense, though, giving up 24 to Kansas State surprises you how much?
They haven't done anything well defensively. Their defense has gotten run on, especially first and second down. They've been beat in man coverage, and this was a defense that has really been trending in being a difference maker for Oklahoma. Very few tackles for loss, so they've got to make some corrections defensively. Stop the stunting and be better in man coverage.
And off to Gilbert to start off the second half. And he picks up about 4.
Belief, belief, belief. That was the message from Chris Kleiman to his team at the half. Really pleased with the lead and told his guys we have to play a great second half to try and beat a great football team, and really happy with the way his offense was able to move the ball, really balanced offensively because they've been able to run it, utilizing some power. Their inside stuff has been effective. He said that helped us keep them off balance because then we could use our play action.
They played a nearly flawless first half, and they still only have a 1-point lead. Here's Gilbert again, trying to get out wide, and does. Breaks a tackle, picks up a first down and more. Let's take a look at today's Pacific Life game summary. And quarterback run has been a big factor for both guys.
Well, for offensively Oklahoma, it's been the Jalen Hurts show, and you mentioned it, the quarterback run. He's been outstanding with it. And then Skylar Thompson has matched him with his legs. A beautiful early touchdown and an option. He's run the ball incredibly well and made some really timely throws in their pass game.
Oklahoma in a new spot, down at the end of the second quarter. Play action for Thompson, under some pressure, and he's going to throw that one away up the right sideline. It'll be second down and 10. Well, Skylar Thompson was recruited by Chris Kleiman when Coach Kleiman was at North Dakota State. But you're talking about the former Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year and a guy that was being recruited to Kansas State and some other Power 5 schools. So he knew he had no chance to actually get him to come to North Dakota State. But he did establish a relationship with Skylar Thompson they said was really beneficial when he took this job.
He's beloved by his teammates, beloved by their coaching staff. His play's gotten better every week.
Jordan Brown. And now Oklahoma's got a chance to get a stop on defense. They have forced third down and long.
So an early third down to start this half. You're 38-yard line. As a play caller, you are thinking, okay, and Skylar Thompson needs to be aware of this. 6-7 yards here is different than at my own 38-yard line. So underneath completion in a one-on-one matchup is plenty to force your coach to go, maybe we go for it on 4th and 3. You've exposed the slot of this defense.
Does Alex Grinch bring pressure? And now it's going to be third down and even longer.
Full start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, third down.
There is no Power 5 offensive lineman that has started more games active than Scott France, the left tackle for Kansas State. This is his 45th career start, and he just made a mistake that now puts his team in a 3rd and 15 hole.
And the 2 third down and long conversions that Kansas State had in the first half were because of penalties by Oklahoma. I'd expect Oklahoma to play some soft zone, but you're still in the same mindset if you're Skylar Thompson. A completion is worthy here.
Only a 3-man rush. Thompson takes a shot for showing up the seam, and he's got a first down.
Watch the eyes of Skylar Thompson and then the belief, okay, what I'm seeing is right. Let the ball go, no hesitation, and a beautiful throw. Bleeding Shonen behind that linebacker. I've just been really impressed with his timing today, his understanding of trusting his eyes and letting the ball go when he needs to.
Oklahoma's defense was number 7 in America in opponent third downs coming into today. Thompson on a bootleg. He's got room to run, and he'll tuck it under and spin as Trey Brown brings him down inside the 20-yard line. That's a 3-yard pickup.
But here's the thing. Everyone might be looking at that and going, oh, it's only a 3-yard run by the quarterback. But what that does is when you make that decision as a quarterback, when your coach calls kind of a shot play, right, play action, let's try and hit them, and it's not there, and you make the right choice because no one was open, you're telling your play caller, call it again. I'll continuously make the right decision with the football. Really nice job by Thompson there.
Quick hitter to the outside, incomplete. And once again, it's a third down, 3rd and 7 at the 19. That pass intended for Nick Lenners. Now what are you dialing up if you're Courtney Messinger?
Well, what you've had success on third down with is some seam balls. If offensively, you've had some balls go down the seam. So I got to anticipate Oklahoma not giving to me that. I'm thinking Oklahoma's going to play a middle field close coverage, one-on-one in the outsides, and I've got to find one of my guys on the perimeter that wins on like an out or a comeback.
OU shows blitz. Here they come. It's picked up. Shot over the middle, and it's broken up. Pat Fields, the free safety. A really nice job on Samuel Wheeler, the intended receiver. And now it's 4th down, and it'll be a field goal try for Kansas State.
And Oklahoma did just that defensively. They pressured, They went to one high safety, meaning everybody was playing man coverage. That ball has to get thrown to the perimeter. Those are the one-on-ones outside. Good job by Oklahoma defense, dialing up some blitz, getting off the field.
Blake Lynch so far this season, 8 for 9. And make it 9 for 10. Kansas State extends their lead.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
And Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, a must-have for Big 12 fans. The exclusive home for the weekly Les Miles All-Access show. Plus, you'll get more than 40 men's basketball games, including 15 Kansas State hoop games, and hundreds of other Big 12 games that include plenty of women's matchups as well. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com/Big 12 now. Bringing it back from about the 2-yard line. Brown gets out close to the 21. Perfect day for football in one of the best college towns you will ever find. They love their Wildcats here in Manhattan. And Kansas State has the 4-point lead. Bob Wischusen and Dan Orlovsky. Allison Williams now looking for a response. The OU fans with Jalen Hurts.
This offense has really not skipped a beat. I mean, they did their part in the first half. So continue to expect them to run the football. And I'd like to see them get CeeDee Lamb a little bit more involved in their pass game. Maybe a screen, a shallow, something with the ball in his hands.
Well, they'll run it on first down with Kennedy Brooks. And he weaves his way for 5.
It's kind of interesting. Came into this game thinking, man, Oklahoma's perimeter run game is so good. Well, Kansas State, their perimeter run game has been the difference. And then Oklahoma's defensive line, the movement has been so good. Well, Kansas State's defensive line and its movement and stunts after the snap has really helped them in some run game situations.
Hurts dumps one off underneath. A gain of a yard, maybe a couple. As Jeremiah Hall hauls it in, and it will be 3rd down and 4.
Got to have eyes on CeeDee Lamb. 3rd and 4. If you're going to play man coverage, where's number 2? And expect some kind of motion and try to get some rub by him. Here's CeeDee Lamb pre-snap.
And he's got a safety tracking him. Instead, Hurts with a slant that's broken up. Eric Gallen drops back off the line and gets the pass defensed. It'll be a 3-and-out for Oklahoma. The first punt of the day for the Sooners.
Love the play call. CeeDee Lamb took numbers, you're one-on-one, but Gallen did an outstanding job of getting underneath that throw. What a win for the Kansas State Wildcats to start this second half.
Reeves Munchow barely gets it away. Takes a sideways hop and a good one for Kansas State. It's finally touched at the 46-yard line of Oklahoma. The pressure forced a helium ball, a 19-yard punt.
Football, presented by TrackPhone on ABC, is brought to you by General Mills. Bring more to your game day with General Mills tailgate recipes. See what you can create at wearetailgatenation.com. And Pillsbury. Make the most of family time with Pillsbury.
In honor of the 150th year of college football, we always take a look at who we think are the best players in a program's history. Hard to find better than Darren Sproles here at K-State. Is he the greatest of all time? We have an argument with some of the guys on our honorable mention list. That's a pretty good group as well. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams, with James Gilbert up the middle. A drive that starts in plus territory for Kansas State. Gilbert picks up 7, but you actually have some memories of Darren Sproles.
So Darren Sproles and I came out of the draft together. We go to the Senior Bowl together, and I remember the first day I see Sproles, I go, there's no way this guy's going to play in the NFL, right? I mean, obviously I judged him off his size. First day I give him a handoff draw. He gets about 10 yards downfield, and he sizes up this safety, and absolutely Allen Iverson crossed him over, and I said, all right, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he's got a chance.
Thompson on a bootleg. Hoists one downfield for Schoen. Drops it in.
The same play that Thompson had thrown away before. Under pressure, look at the air, and he totally throws Schoen open, leading him to the sideline. Difficult throw up on the run. Beautiful arc of that football, and Schoen coming alive in this second half. But that's because Skylar Thompson was willing to throw that same play away before. Courtney Messingham, his play caller, dialed it up again.
Bubble screen. Phillip Brooks inside the 5. Close to a first down. Steps out right at the marker. It might be first and goal.
People always ask the question of, like, how does having a run game really work? Kansas State's run the ball well. 1, play action. We just saw it. 2, you're committing numbers to stopping that run, and that's why we've seen some of these bubbles to the slot open up for this Kansas State offense, because you're Oklahoma going, okay, I got to get another guy closer to the football, and it becomes a numbers game.
First and goal at the 3. Quarterback run. Skylar Thompson. He's got another K-State touchdown. Number 5 is on the ropes, 34-23.
Big play by the quarterback, some throws, some runs, and how about the quarterback power down to the red zone? Collapse the line, follow the pulling guard, get in the end zone, your coach, get up. Wildcats on top.
Welcome back to college football, presented by TrackPhone. It's part of Auto Trader Tailgate Week. A lot more push-ups than maybe the Wildcat expected to do today here in Manhattan. Already 34 points on the board for Kansas State, and they will pooch the kick short. Lands in no man's land and is taken by TJ Pledger. He lost the football. K-State thinks they have it. A turnover on special teams by Oklahoma. It looks like Eric Gallen may have gotten in there. Samuel Wheeler recovered the football. The officials have already signaled that it belongs to Kansas State.
Watch Gallen come in from the right side of the screen right there, number 1. He popped that ball out. And then look at Samuel Wheeler at the bottom. Watch him curl his knees up, right? Protect the football. It's almost fetal position. You curl your knees up to protect it.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Reg.
A takeaway on special teams for Kansas State. Unbelievable. All right, Kevin, thanks very much. And what has been jubilation for the fans here at homecoming for Kansas State, on top 34-23, just getting a takeaway on special teams, a fumble that was caused by Eric Gallen, who made a terrific play as a linebacker in coverage not long ago as well. Looks like he has suffered a severe knee injury to the point that they had to bring the cart out. So we will step aside and come right back in 30 seconds. Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams back here in Manhattan. And trust us when we tell you that Eric Gallen, linebacker, and the transfer from Virginia, suffered what appeared to be a severe knee injury. And his teammates that were around him that saw it happen reacted. And there's no reason for us to show you a replay. But what has been a celebration of Kansas State football, and a tough atmosphere for Oklahoma to play in, has gone from loud to very, very quiet as they have brought the cart out, and they are going to bring Eric Gallen off the field as soon as they get him stabilized.
These were moments like these were always hardest as a player, always, because in college athletics it's so different because you spend all of your time with each other, all of your time with your teammates, whether at your class or working out or lunch or dinner, study hall, everything like that. And so you build these bonds that go significantly farther than the field, and the relationships and the connection that you grow with guys. And to see someone go down like this was always the hardest thing, because you almost in a way feel it because of those tight bonds.
And it looks like they may finally have stabilized Eric Gallen to the point that they're going to be able to move him and get him up on the cart and bring him back to the locker room. And I would think with the video that we saw while we were away that we're not going to show you again, he might be headed straight to the hospital. And that is a concerned head coach, Chris Kleiman, as he's keeping an eye on Eric Gallen. And at some point after they are able to get Gallen off on the cart, Chris Kleiman then has to go back over to his football team and take them from this back to the intensity of a game where they're trying to pull off a major upset.
Yeah, and that's leadership will come into play. You know, it's a difficult situation as a head coach, because you have to be vulnerable to the moment, right? Vulnerable to one of your players getting hurt, and at the same time try and reset your football team and its players' mindset. But they have seen 5 seniors across their offensive line. That's who will be turned to. They have a junior quarterback that has started a ton of football games. They have a couple senior receivers, senior tailback. They've got leadership to handle this.
We will send every good thought and prayer the way of Eric Gallen. And we'll have certainly any update on his status brought to you as soon as possible. And I'm not sure if you could see a moment ago as Gallen is loaded onto the cart, one of, after he was on the cart, first to go over and try and pat him on the chest and wish him well was Lincoln Riley.
Classy. Great job by both medical staffs as well. They were on top of that, cleared everybody away so they could do their job in a timely fashion.
And guys, there is a hospital directly across the street from the stadium here, Cincy and Via Christi, and that's where he will be taken for further evaluation.
So is the senior and the transfer from Virginia. Heads to the hospital. His teammates have to go back to work. And what an opportunity they have off the fumble recovery on the kickoff return. Trying to extend an 11-point lead. Trying to get outside is Gilbert. Gets down the sideline. Close to a first down. It looks like he has a first down at the 15-yard line. Run out by Justin Broyles.
The perimeter run game for Kansas State is the story of the football game right now. They came in here a pounded offense. Let's run in between the tackles. They saw something on tape that they wanted to take advantage of, and it is getting the ball outside. They've done an outstanding job of cutting, and they're lined up in the same formation. Look at this formation. You got your quarterback with almost a triangle formation, but with the backs.
Play action off of it. Thompson under pressure, and he's going to go down. So the play action didn't fool the front for Oklahoma. They couldn't hold up, and LaRon Stokes, he got through, a loss of 7. How aggressive is Alex Grinch here on third down, or rather second down, at about 17?
Well, if I'm Alex Grinch, I'm anticipating a quarterback draw. You know, especially in this 2-by-2 formation where you've got 2 receivers one side, 2 receivers the other side. That's what they scored on at the end of the first half. Anticipate a quarterback draw.
Thompson to throw instead. Down inside the 5-yard line to Wheeler. It's first and goal at the 3, a gain of 20.
The timing and accuracy by Skylar Thompson. One hitch, trust it, put the ball on the line, in between 3 defenders, and then Wheeler, as he's getting hit, being able to hold on to that football.
Skylar Thompson has thrown the ball into some tight windows in this game.
It's because the timing and anticipation that he's had, though. Quarterback run, you got to anticipate quarterback run.
There it is. Thompson at the goal line. He's in again. 4th rushing touchdown of the game for Skylar Thompson.
Beautiful job by Thompson, seeing the safety fold in. He bounces out and uses that speed. How about the offense responding to the turnover, the injury, but the emotional response by the football team behind this offensive line and quarterback.
That's 7 consecutive possessions with points for Kansas State.
Well, we talked about it, right? How could you stop Oklahoma's offense? And I said you can't. You just try and slow them down. Have they slowed them down, Kansas State, a little bit? Yes. And then they needed to score on their touches. It wasn't, hey, let's go on some drives and chew up some clock and kick 3s. You had to go on some drives that chewed up clock and score touchdowns.
Let's take a look at Oklahoma's playoff stats based on the All-State playoff predictor. And unfortunately for the Sooners, down 41-23. Their numbers are dropping. With a loss today, they would have only a 17% chance to make the playoff.
Guys, this Kansas State offense is doing exactly what their coaches have been challenging them to, and that's to be the aggressor. Each unit was told that. The running backs were told to keep going right at them. You cannot play soft. You have to be aggressive. For the receivers, you've got to be the more physical group. And the O-line, keep hitting them. Take the fight to them. The last message, 3 isn't good enough. You've got to score touchdowns. And that's what they're doing.
And they just tried a short kickoff again that was taken by Pledger. So good field position for Oklahoma. Another chance for us to check in with Kevin Nagandi. Could be another shakeup with flags down in the top 10. 12 men on the field for Oklahoma.
Illegal substitution. Offense, 12 in the formation. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
First and 15. C.D. Lamb breaks a tackle, being strung out, nowhere to go, takes a loss.
What an outstanding job by Walter Neal. We've talked about some of the corners, A.J. Parker, his willingness to tackle, Walter Neal's willingness to be an aggressor, force C.D. Lamb to have to run the hump. Huge play by the corner, Walter Neal.
5-yard penalty and then a 5-yard loss makes it second down and 20. Jalen Hurts, a check down underneath to Trey Sermon. And that gets 10 yards back, so now it's 3rd and 10.
You've got to anticipate if you're Oklahoma that Kansas State is going to play some coverage, a cover 2 that they love. 2 options. You put someone running down the middle of the field, just like before the half. If they don't cover it, you throw it to the back shoulder or the helmet of the defender, or someone down the sideline to see if that safety collapses over the top.
Hurts under pressure, avoids a sack, tries to stay on his feet. He's going to get stood up near the line of scrimmage. Picked up a couple of yards, but it'll be 4th down and 9.
Kansas State right now is owning this football game at the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line has done it, and then their defensive line getting after Oklahoma's offensive line in the rush game.
Youngblood with an immediate fair catch. Inside his own 30-yard line, a 36-yard punt for Munchausen. Well, today we'll have a college football doubleheader for you on the ACC network and on the ESPN app. Virginia, leaders in the Coastal, take on 4-3 Louisville at 3:30 Eastern, and then number 4 Clemson in Death Valley later on tonight against Boston College. That's our ACC network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Straight ahead run to Gilbert, flag down.
Personal foul, chop block. Offense, number 87 and number 36 will be penalized half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
David Agwebu, the freshman linebacker for Oklahoma, was engaged and then cut by Nick Lenners. That's a huge call. That could short-circuit this drive altogether for Kansas State. And they need Oklahoma something to turn things around defensively.
Well, they've been so good on first down. And to your point, Bob, now 1st and 25, obviously an incredibly different experience than 1st and 10. But it's a dangerous position for this Oklahoma defense because at some point, you're going to have to start taking some gambles. And if Kansas State calculates right, they can hurt you.
Nowhere to go as Kenneth Murray was all over Gilbert. No gain on first down.
The leaders of this Oklahoma defense starting to get pretty vocal when they were on the sideline. Neville Gallimore telling us, guys, you got to dig deep. We pride ourselves on how we deal with adversity. This is it. How do we respond? A lot of talk, guys, about coming up with a takeaway. Remember, 3 games prior to this, they have not had a takeaway. So they know they need a big play, potentially a turnover, to try and turn things around.
And they haven't had tackles for loss today either. I mean, 2 things that they pride themselves on have not happened for this defense today.
Dalton Schoen out of bounds at the 23-yard line, forced out by Jaden Davis, picked up 9. 2.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. But a 3-possession game. Lincoln Riley, his offense needs the ball back, and they need multiple possessions. So these kinds of stops are the ones you have to have.
Yeah, and it's big here for Kansas State to anticipate what Oklahoma's going to do defensively. I think Oklahoma's going to line up with 1 safety in the middle field, pressure the quarterback, and play man-to-man. Look for 83, Dalton Schoen. He's in the slot right here. You love that matchup. He's having a big opportunity afternoon right now.
Only a 3-man rush. Down the sideline, making a stumbling catch is Jordan Brown. And that is good for a first down, another 3rd and long conversion for Kansas State.
They play cover 2. Skylar Thompson sees the corner. No hesitation, the corner tries the out. That leaves that honey hole shot down the sideline. Beautiful throw to the running back. A lot of times when you put a running back out there, corners won't pay attention to him. They put the running back out there. Davis was extra aggressive to the slot. Beautiful throw.
Screen. Joshua Youngblood. Hurdles for 6. Keeps the clock rolling with 1:15 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Remember, 2 ways that you can try and stop the run. Numbers. We've seen Kansas State take advantage of that with some bubbles, or pressure. You blitz. That's exactly what Oklahoma did, and Kansas State anticipated it and told Skylar Thompson, if he blitzes, you throw that bubble. They've continually had Alex Grinch's number when it came to anticipating what he was going to do.
Trying to drag his way for yardage is Gilbert, brought down at the line of scrimmage. And they will have to run one more play before the end of the quarter.
They should have, waited another 4 or 5 seconds till they snapped that ball, and then they would have let the quarter bleed down and gained a timeout on this 3rd and 5. Now you're going to have to snap it. So last 3rd down, Oklahoma played cover 2. I still think they're going to come after you, play man-to-man coverage. I would keep my eyes on Dalton Schoen or Joaquin Gill.
Gilbert limped off. Quarterback run. Skylar Thompson right up the middle. Easily picking up a 3rd down conversion and a first down. 15 yards. And that takes us to the 4th quarter. Can you believe what we're watching here in Manhattan? Kansas State leads Oklahoma 41-23 as we start the 4th and continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. And what was supposed to be, at least according to the odds makers, a continuation of the drive maybe towards the college football playoff for Oklahoma. Kansas State has had a lot to say about that. Up the middle, Jordan Brown inside the 30-yard line. Picks up 5 as we take a look at today's Pacific Life game summary. And what a day Skylar Thompson has had in comparison with Jalen Hurts.
The biggest thing that Skylar Thompson has done is when they've needed him, he's shown up. He's used his legs in huge moments, especially down the red zone, 3 touchdown runs. But throwing the football as well, when they've called passes and he's had to hit them with accuracy and timing and anticipation, he's done it. Brown
again. Close to a first down again, about a yard shy.
Well, the big plays today certainly have been the trick play tried by Oklahoma, the discipline by Kansas State's defense for the pick. Right before the half, they turn it into a quarterback draw touchdown. The fumble on the return, the pooch kick, and then they turn it into, again, a red zone touchdown, dialing up their quarterback, Skylar Thompson. They've taken advantage of every opportunity that's been given to them or that they forced.
And most importantly, they have run the football. And they run it here on 3rd down and 1. They certainly can. 1st down and more. Getting free. Jordan Brown looking for the pylon. Short of the end zone. But it's 1st and goal at the 2.
They are just running power at Oklahoma. You block down on one side, you pull a guard all the way around, and the running back's vision, the cutback has been there so much. I am blown away by how soft Oklahoma's defense looks up front. They looked soft, and they're getting pushed around by Kansas State's offensive line.
James Gilbert gets back in the game as the I-back. He gets the handoff, and he gets a walk-in touchdown. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Kansas State is rolling Oklahoma here in Manhattan.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Here's a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. And the eye-opening scores: Ohio State dominant over Wisconsin, but Oklahoma at number 5, trailing big against Kansas State. Look at the AP voters and how they split among the top 4. A fair number of first-place votes for all 4 teams in the top 4 as Pledger tries to bring one back and gets out to the 31-yard line. Back to Kevin Nagandi. All right, Kevin, thanks very much. Back to the offense. Desperate for points, Oklahoma. Here's Jalen Hurts. Tunnel screen, CeeDee Lamb. Trying to get outside. And does. CeeDee Lamb stays on his feet, and he will go the distance. Just what the Sooners needed. 70-yard touchdown. Any surprise here that Oklahoma's not going to go for 2? They're going to kick a point to cut the lead to 18. I guess they feel like they don't need to go for 2 yet. It's Burkich. One play for Oklahoma. They breathe a little life back into the game.
College football on ABC is presented by TrackPhone, the new TrackPhone wireless. Now you're in control. In part by Pacific Life, 150 years strong. Protection and retirement solutions for your future. And Auto Trader, the only one with Kelley Blue Book. Finally, it's easy.
Do they like to tailgate here in the Little Apple? We had our cameras out shortly after 6 a.m. this morning, and it didn't take long to find some K-State tailgaters. They were partying all the way up for the 11 a.m. kickoff. and they have been electric since the start of the game.
What game do you think they were, like, why are all those solo cups on that table? Like, do you think that there's anything to that game? Or,
yeah, I think
it's weird.
Maybe you can explain the rules. This next possession for Kansas State may be what determines whether or not we have a football game. Can Oklahoma get the immediate stop and get the ball back to their offense, just having scored a 70-yard touchdown?
And if I'm Chris Kleiman and I'm going to my offense, I'm going, listen, we're going to do what we've been doing. We've got 48 on the board. They have not stopped us. So you got to make sure their mindset is to stay aggressive. It's not, uh-oh, they just scored, we've got to protect the football. Let's go stay aggressive. Continue to run the football. Running backs, trust your eyes. And then Skylar Thompson, we believe that you'll make the right play. You continue to call plays that way.
As you saw, Oklahoma with 22 consecutive true road wins. The next longest active road winning streak, Clemson, with 10 road wins. And Jordan Brown goes backwards on first down, exactly what the Sooners need to try to get the ball back to their offense as fast as possible.
One of those TFLs, we haven't had those. Certainly Oklahoma's defense has not had those over the last couple of quarters as Kansas State has built this lead. You've got to be alert here, though. Because Skylar Thompson's legs have become such a weapon, if you're Alex Grinch, you're thinking, okay, I got to make sure I spy him. And if you're Kansas State, I'd run the ball here. I'd run the ball to the perimeter and see if Oklahoma will show me they can stop that run game.
Back to the full house backfield, and there goes Jordan Brown into the secondary for a first down. He picks up 13.
Love the play call. Out of that formation, you had run to the perimeter so much. You send one back one way, Oklahoma pays attention to it, and Jordan Brown, the thing he's done the best today is what he's seen, he's trusted. Running backs run with their eyes. When you see a hole, you put your foot in the ground and get downhill.
Kansas State averages 34-11 in time of possession, 5th best in America. They're going to go over that on this drive. Brown up the middle for a half yard, maybe. At the bottom of the pile, once again, LaRon Stokes. Also helping out on the stop, Marquez Overton, who has been a big factor for Oklahoma in the middle of their defensive line.
When you're telling your quarterback, Skylar Thompson, this is important for him to bleed this clock. I mean, you start almost a 4-minute drill now where you're not snapping this ball before 3 or 4 seconds. You're calling run plays. There's that full house triangle backfield again, but bleed this clock down.
Takes the snap with about 6 on the play clock here and keeps it himself. Skylar Thompson. A yard and a half shy of the first down. Now they'll mark him down at the 42. So it's about 3 yards shy of a first down. So a very important 3rd and 3 coming up.
7-yard gain for down 3 from the 42.
And if you're Alex Grinch as a defensive coordinator, your hands are tied almost in this moment. You have to play man coverage and you have to pressure the quarterback. Now the big thing is making sure you tell blitzers, eyes on. You're not just blitzing blind. You got to keep eyes on the quarterback.
Seems tailor-made for play action.
Yeah.
If you went that route. Nope, it's a handoff and a nice jump cut by Harry Trotter, but he's a half yard shy.
And that's exactly what I talked about when you're a blitzer. You can't just blindly run in somewhere. Watch off the right side of our screen. The blitzer makes him cut, and Gallimore came off the block in a massive stop for Oklahoma's defense.
The first punt since the first possession of the game for Kansas State.
And I think it's the right, punting here is the right call by Chris Kleiman.
Spiraling kick from Ankle up against the sideline and away from CeeDee Lamb. And it's out of bounds, touched at about the 10-yard line. So Oklahoma will have it down 18 with the long field. 9:01 to go.
Manhattan, the story for Kansas State is its offensive line, starting with their center, Adam Holtorf. Look at the awesome job of anticipating an angle, getting on the outside of the defender, forcing that defender to go underneath, and then the collapse by the offensive line from one side. It gives Jordan Brown, the tailback, the ability to cut back, and a coach going, hey man, great drive, fellas. We're gonna need one more. We're gonna put this game on your back.
Jalen Hurts with a cutback. And something interesting you said earlier, in spite of the fact that this is the #1 offense in America, points scored and total yards, they're not built necessarily, Oklahoma, to come from behind in fashion like this.
No, because the explosive plays come from their run game. They get their run game going so much that all the play action pass opens up these huge chunk plays. They're not a drop back, chuck it all over the place, explosive pass game. They're built to be in control and use their play action game for their chunk offense.
Guys, Jalen Hurts has confidence in his team's ability to come back. When he was on the sideline, he went up to every guy, high-fived him, and said, almost a smile, you just got to believe, guys. I'm telling you, you just got to believe.
Well, they're still in it after 26 yards on that play to Lee Morris, and he's well protected here. Finds a check down. Sermon spins to midfield. He's got 6.
And the battle for this drive and the rest of this game is, okay, if Kansas State's defense plays zone coverage, Jalen Hurts needs to be patient with the football, and then Kansas State defensively needs to tackle well in open space.
Hurts out of the pocket. He's going to run again. He's got a first down. And tough to bring down. Denzel Goolsby finished him off with A.J. Parker, but not before Jalen Hurts runs for 10 yards and a first down. They need 3 scores, and the clock ticking down. Kansas State brings pressure. Hurts throws behind it to CeeDee Lamb. That's good for 11, and another Oklahoma first down.
Nice job by Jalen Hurts. Kansas State decides to gamble. We're going to pressure him, and instead of trying to hold the ball and make something happen, kicks it out to CeeDee Lamb.
Hurts fires one high up the seam, incomplete. He had Morris running right along the hash marks and just airmailed it.
I still think if you're Lincoln Riley, you can use your playbook. You can, if you want, you can bring CeeDee Lamb on that shallow cross and potentially have that quarterback draw be a part of your play call.
Quarterback draw. Breaking a tackle is Jalen Hurts. Still on his feet. And finally brought down at the 22-yard line after he picked up about 6. Joe Davies eventually got Jalen Hurts down. 3rd down and 3.
CeeDee Lamb right there. Pay attention to him if they bring him in motion.
Hurts over the middle. That's a first down catch inside the 10-yard line. Charleston Rambo shows up for the first time in a while. It's 1st and goal at the 9, 6:23 to go.
Good job moving the pocket, and Rambo wrapping right behind those linebackers, and patience by Hurts.
Quarterback draw. Hurts at the 5 to the goal line. Is he short? He is. It'll be 2nd down and goal inside the 1. And this is costing Oklahoma time. They have to get in the end zone as quickly as possible.
They should just get up to the line of scrimmage. You see Hurts there. They should get up to the line of scrimmage and quick quarterback sneak this.
He may have been in. Instead, it is a quarterback sneak. Hurts pushes the pile, and that looks like it gets him across the goal line. No signal as of yet from the officials. There's the touchdown call. And the Sooners back-to-back touchdowns. 5:36 to go, and it's not over yet. And here is where Lincoln Riley's going to go for 2 now to try and make it a 10-point game. Guess he feels like his team is rolling, and now's the time to try for 2.
Let's keep our eyes on this bunch set right here. Kansas State's going to play zone.
Hurts looking to throw back in the end zone. Fires a bullet back in the end zone to C.D. Lamb, and he's got it. 5:36 remaining, and it's 48-38. Will we have a wild finish? We're about to find out. Rushing touchdown of the game for Jalen Hurts makes this a 10-point game with the 2-point conversion. But watch as we zoom in on the center exchange. Watch the football. Oh boy, that is a fortunate bounce. He lost it for a moment, got it back, and snuck it across. And Oklahoma will kick it deep. Kansas State had a hands team out there just in case. So it will come out to the 25-yard line after we check in again with Kevin. Well, Kevin, the Little Apple has been partying with Kansas State at one point on top in dominant fashion. Now only leading by 10 with 5.5 minutes to go. Right into the heart of the defense goes James Gilbert for no gain. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. We thank Allstate. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams. Jalen Hurts can do nothing but wait, see if his defense can get him the ball back. Would you throw the ball at some point if you're Skylar Thompson?
I'm not on this play. This play is going to be a run play for me. It's been the bread and butter for me today. At some point, the ball is going to have to go in the air, yes.
Cut back up the middle. And it looks like shaken up on the play is Jordan Brown. And Lincoln Riley called a timeout, trying to preserve clock. And now the officials are going to call timeout for the injured player, so I think they signaled that before Lincoln Riley had to call timeout. So Jordan Brown limps off. And it looks like Lincoln Riley is going to stay with his timeout because they would start to wind the clock again. And so now 3rd down and 7. And Dan, to me, this is where a play call gets interesting for a team that you know is just trying to hang on and make a first down. If you run the football here, you force Lincoln Riley maybe to call another timeout. Do you put it in the air and know you still have to try to be aggressive offensively to put the game away?
I do, yeah. I've trusted my quarterback all afternoon, and he's responded, right? Skylar Thompson has been great with when we've dialed up passes, you've made the right decision, sometimes throwing it away, and then you've thrown the ball to the right place with good timing. And so the big thing is, if Oklahoma's going to play some zone, allow that slot receiver to have a chance to win, but if it's man-to-man coverage, make sure the ball goes to 83, Dalton Schoen.
Thompson with a pump fake, out of the pocket. And throws it across his body, and it's tipped and almost intercepted. Trey Brown had a chance at a very risky throw. Oklahoma gets the stop, 4:42 to go, and they're about to get the ball back again.
Skylar Thompson living right, because that is the last thing that you do in that moment. Truthfully, what you want to do in that moment when you break the pocket as a quarterback and you realize nothing is there, fall. Take the sack, let the clock run, and force Oklahoma to let that clock bleed or use their timeout.
Big punt from Anktel. C.D. Lamb, returnable from inside the 20. Gets tripped up. Still got it out to about the 28-yard line after a 55-yard punt. Well, Notre Dame takes on Jim Harbaugh, number 19 Michigan, at the Big House, 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. It's Saturday Night Football, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Notre Dame looking for their first win in Ann Arbor since 2005. It's a big one tonight at the Big House. Kansas State trying to hang on. Jalen Hurts back to work. Four-man rush. Hurts finds a crosser underneath in Theo Weiss. That's his first catch. Gain of 5.
If you're Kansas State right now, you can't sit back and play any more soft zone. Jalen Hurts is eating it up right now. You're going to have to be willing to play some single high safety man.
He's under pressure here. Scrambles forward, and it looks as if he's got a first down. And at least for the moment, that will stop the clock for Oklahoma.
Guys, Hurts' demeanor when he's on the sideline is unlike really any other quarterback I've seen in this kind of situation. I mean, it's like he thrives on this pressure. He's like smiling. He told his guys, you got to love this. We're about to do this. He just acts so differently with the game on the line. There's such confidence there.
He's got a national championship on his resume. Dodging tacklers here, and down he goes. That time pressure came. Elijah Sullivan tripped him up near the line. 3.5 minutes to go. And a timeout called by Oklahoma.
They did a great job because they played some man and allows their pass rushers to feel some energy. And then they spied him with Sullivan. Sullivan, keep your eyes on Jalen Hurts. They're going to play some man. Hubert off the edge, force Hurts to move up in the pocket, and then wait, Elijah Sullivan. Be patient. He'll come to you.
And that's one of the surest tackles we've seen from Kansas State on Jalen Hurts today. And each guy we sat with yesterday, what did they say over and over again? Not only Chris Kleiman, but Scotty Hazelton, their defensive coordinator. We have been terrible at tackling through the first month and a half of our season. They knew that was going to be a key.
And they went like football 101, right? They walk through. Where's your eyes? Where's your target? How do you bend? That Elijah Sullivan, to your point, Bob, it was picture perfect right there.
So Oklahoma down to only one timeout remaining. The pocket pushed, and Hurts flushed. Throws it to a wide open Nick Basquin. And he's got a first down to midfield. Stops the clock with a gain of 13. Scotty Hazelton trying to have his team exchange yardage for time.
And that's that get. You just said guess. Like, as a defensive coordinator, I still think you go, we're rushing 4. And I just want to play some man coverage or covered 3. Make them get some completions and bleed the clock a little bit.
A shot over the middle. Lee Morris, the tight end. Inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line of Kansas State. A gain of 21. And again, for the moment, it stops the clock. Just under 3 minutes to go. Now it starts again. Hurts off play action. Stays in the pocket. Floats one for Lamb at the pylon. Broken up. A.J. Parker there in coverage.
Nice job by A.J. Parker. Play through the football. Get your right hand up there. Good fight for the football by both Parker and CeeDee Lamb.
That's a corner that didn't have a Power 5 offer out of high school against a guy that's probably going to go in the top 10 of the draft. Hurts has all day to throw. He's going to float one into traffic for Lamb, and it's incomplete. Jerron McPherson had a chance at a pick. 3rd down and 10.
And really, right now, it's so important for the second-level guys of Kansas State's defense to get back. You don't want to drop to 8 yards and have the ball go up over your heads. Get to 10, 11, 12 yards, where McPherson just was, and make Jalen Hurts throw the ball in front of you, come up and tackle. Kansas State lining up with a double A-gap pressure. 2 linebackers up there, daring the protection of Oklahoma.
Here comes the blitz. Hurts out of the pocket. Finds an outlet receiver. Drake stoops. Flag down late. If the play stands, it's a first down. It's a gain of 11. Was this a block in the back on Oklahoma? It is against OU. And Lincoln Riley tells his guys, it's okay, settle down.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 14. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, third down.
Watch the left hand of Rambo right there as it's riding Walter Neal. And it's listen, he may not have shoved him, but the fact that the hand is on the back as Walter Neal kind of got crossed up is what allowed that flag to get thrown.
So that spot foul makes it 3rd and 15. Hurts out of the pocket again. Throws one way across the field, across his body. C.D. Lamb finds it somehow. And now a decision to make. You need a field goal. 2 minutes to go in the game as Lamb is brought down. It's 4th down and 3. Would you not try the field goal here?
Absolutely, I would kick the field goal here. I just went for 2 to make sure that the field goal came into play.
Lincoln Riley all the way down to call his final timeout with 1:49 remaining. And will he now send the field goal group out? Well, SportsCenter from LA tonight after Washington State, Oregon with Stan and Neil. Astros Nationals Game 4 post-game coverage from DC. Notre Dame Michigan reactions as well. Our college football analyst Heather Dinich details how Oregon or Utah could make the college football playoff. SportsCenter after Cougars Ducks on ESPN and the ESPN app. Again, let's check in with Kevin. All right, Kevin, thanks very much. So here is the field goal group then coming out for Oklahoma. Now, was that a game management mistake by Lincoln Riley? Because you could fire wagon your field goal group out there if you've got them ready and you wouldn't have had to spend that final timeout?
No, listen, the timeout is the right call because the most important thing is time. That 10, 8 seconds that you might save yourself isn't worth it.
Here's a must make for Burkich from 39. He's 3 for 3 today. Gets it away clean and knocks it through. Well, it's going to come down to an onside kick.
And that's why the field goal was the right decision. When you rewind 15 minutes ago, you're down 20-something points. If you had told Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma, hey, you're going to have an opportunity to be down 7 points with a minute 45 on the clock, that's why you keep the game alive and take that field goal.
Yeah, you're right. If at that point you told Lincoln Riley, we're going to give you a chance with an onside kick to maybe have a chance to tie the game on a last possession, would you take it? I'm sure he would have signed up for it right then and there.
And that's why I think the timeout was the right play, because if you run your field goal unit on there and it's going to burn another 12 or so seconds, but you're also running an operation on there that it's paramount that kick goes in. So don't rush them. Take the time out, give them the time to do their job the right way, and now it comes to your onside kick.
Dalton Schoen on one side, Landry Weber on the other. Oklahoma trying to keep alive the longest true road win streak in college football. As the ball drops off the tee. Now check that, a timeout called by Kansas State.
It's a smart timeout by Chris Kleiman, because you can go, it's like basketball. We talk about this all the time.
It's almost like, let me look at what they're in.
Yeah, because I would imagine Chris Kleiman wants Dalton Schoen to be the guy that the ball is kicked to, right? The reliable senior. So when you see Oklahoma line up, okay, what are their tendencies? When they line in this formation, where are they going to kick it? I want to make sure that Dalton Schoen is there. And then also have someone behind Dalton Schoen as well, that if the ball does get tipped up, he could be there for a tip.
So Burkich will kick it, and Schoen will line up on the far side left. Landry Weber, another wide receiver, had lined up on the near side right. Those look to be the two guys that the trust will be put in by Kansas State to field the onside kick. Phillip Brooks is right in the middle of the field.
And that's the guy, Bob, that you run Phillip Brooks either way the ball gets kicked for a tip.
Burkich. It squeezes through. Brooks after it. It's loose. Does Oklahoma have it? It looks like the Sooners have recovered. Braden Willis, the tight end, at the bottom of the pile with the football.
A curl kick.
The question is, was the ball touched by a Sooner before it traveled 10 yards?
Is a kick with a legal recovery by Oklahoma. The previous play is under further review.
And it's so hard to tell if that's just a wild football bounce or if this touches an Oklahoma player before it goes 10 yards. Right there.
I mean, that ball ricocheted so hard that it certainly hit someone.
Well, if you're going to say it hit someone, it's hard to say it didn't hit an Oklahoma player.
It hits the right elbow. It looks like it hits the right elbow of the Oklahoma player right at like 9.5 yards. Man, it looks like it hits this right elbow right there.
That's Trajan Bridges, who is a freshman wide receiver out there as part of the onside kick group for OU.
Maybe the right knee.
Yep, you're right. That's a pretty conclusive look. Looks like it hits the right knee of Bridges.
But where is he? Right? Where is the knee? It certainly hits him, but where is the knee when it actually hits him? Because it has to go 10, right? It has to go 10 yards before you can touch it. So if he's at 10 yards, then it's fine.
It looked like he was short.
I agree.
Of 10 yards when the ball hit his right knee.
I mean, this play, this decision has college football playoff ramifications. I mean,
and we have synced up these replays. And if we determine that it does hit Bridges, boy, it looks like he is about a half yard or so shy.
Yep.
These two replays are synced up. So if on the right, when the ball makes contact, his body on the left is short of 10 yards, then those two synced up replays make it conclusive.
And here's the reality. We have the technology for a reason, and it looks pretty clear that it hits him early. Like, the technology has to make the situation right. It's obvious that that ball hits Bridges before it ever went 10 yards. But at the same time, coaches right now, you have to be handling the situation to anticipate the call not going the way you want it, right? If you're Oklahoma, you have to anticipate as an offense, what are you going to get to? And Kansas State needs to be talking to their defense in preparation that if they are going to rule it,
right,
in Oklahoma recovery, so your guys are ready for the moment.
It does make it that much more important that the ruling on the field that sets the precedent that the replay must overturn is that Oklahoma recovered the ball. This is a long review. If we had to guess, this is going to be a ball touched before it went 10 yards by Trajan Bridges.
I agree. A half yard makes a difference, right? I think this ball was touched early by Bridges, and it should be Kansas State football.
Here's the announcement.
After review, the ball was illegally touched by number 8 of Oklahoma at the 44-yard line, 1 yard short of the receiver's restraining line. It'll be Kansas State's ball, 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line.
And that will do it. For Kansas State, it is victory formation with Oklahoma out of timeouts. Lincoln Riley's going to get his 10 cents worth with the officials, but us syncing those replays up, I think, Dan, made it about as conclusive as you could that the ball was touched before it went 10 yards.
Yeah, and I think that, listen, he hasn't had the opportunity to see the replays like we have, right? And I would be doing the same thing if I was Lincoln Riley. And I would imagine he's going to get in tomorrow or tonight. He's going to look at it and say, yeah, we were 2 feet, a foot from being able to recover that football. Lincoln Riley, his only access to the view is on the Jumbotron. And so on the Jumbotron, it looks like 10 yards because it's bang, bang. With our technology and with television technology, you can show that it was touched too soon.
The first knee taken by Thompson, and that will start to roll the clock. Now, we put up on our playoff predictor earlier, a lot still has to happen in college football.
Sure.
That Oklahoma would drop to 17% to make the playoff were they to lose this game today. That's because they're not dead yet. There's a lot out in front of them. They could still win their league.
Yep.
Well, and a lot of the teams that will now be ahead of them in the standings will play each other.
There's a couple things. We came into this game after spending some time with Kansas State and reminding ourselves, and Chris Kleiman did this, they're a 4-2 football team, and they're a better football team than people might think. They had the blueprint of how to do it. We talked about long drives that equal touchdowns, but we had Clemson last week, and we talked about how hard it is for a coach to get your players who are 18 to 22 years old to show up every week, because you can get beat at any time. And we had Georgia with an upset earlier this year, and we said that Georgia deserved to win that football game that day. And I think the same could be said today. Kansas State deserved to win this game.
And they end the true road winning streak for Oklahoma. What a win for Kansas State as they take down number 5. The first win against a top 5 team since 2006 for the Wildcats. And the first true signature win for Chris Klein. A celebration underway here in Manhattan. And it's going to be a regroup now for Lincoln Riley and the Sooners. Once again, our final score, Kansas State over Oklahoma, 48-41. What a scene as they celebrate. For Dan Orlovsky and Allison Williams, I'm Bob Wischusen. After the break, it's Penn State and Michigan State.